Well, we're going to do a little demonstration and test of different UV flashlights for, glowing refrigerant to UV light here. And in the past years, you've seen me do UV tests and reviews over different lights. And over the years, I have moved up. In the last few years, I have stopped looking for UV lights because these three have taken over my choice as being the most powerful and the cheapest for the most powerful, and they actually turned out to be reliable, especially as many times as I drop them. So we have the 365 nanometer. This is the UV Beast. We have, I believe this was the 395 nanometer UV Beast. These are all version 3. And this was the 385 to 395 UV Beast version 3. So I have all three of those. Then we have our really old school LED lights, a whole bunch of them. You got that there. This is just rebranded with new Calgon on it, but they don't make the light. They just buy it from a supplier overseas and have their name slapped on it. Then this was one time my absolute almost favorite. As you can see, very worn off. There's 3 bands that are purple. This is the Opti Pro Max. Bang for the buck for the handheld size lights. This was my to-go flashlight for many years. Going back generations before that, there was another light that I have stored away somewhere. It looked like a kid's project built for 50 cents. And it was the absolute best light for over a decade. Even better than some of the big UV dye manufacturers' specific lights. It was better than theirs. This is the Convoy. Convoy for a handheld. This was also my to-go light. Actually, I gotta put yellow on it so I don't lose it. I lose things that are black. As you can tell, I don't want to lose them. Now, here's the new kid on the block. I got to tell you, this was sent to me. I did not purchase this. So am I going to be biased? No. It's going to prove itself. And I'm not going to give you my definitive to after like 6 months or a year of using this. I will make more videos about it. If the biggest thing we've all been disappointed for, doesn't matter how good the light looks, how good it feels, how good it works, if it breaks by having a bad button after a year of use. So we'll find out about that. And yes, that is on and that is off. This is 365 nanometers. So we have dye on my fittings. Yes, my fittings on my car stay on 100% of the time. They never come off. Those are my caps because I'm always doing tests. So all I do is unscrew the little brass caps, hook up my Bluetooth wireless transducers, and I do test runs while I'm driving down the street and stuff like that. I have a sight glass. This is an electric compressor, and you know how there's people who say, and manufacturers, we do not authorize any UV dye in our systems because it's going to burn out the systems and we won't warranty it. So on every one of my cars, family cars, on especially electric cars, I intentionally put UV dye on them as soon as they're rolled off the factory floor and they're purchased. And my whole intent is to purposely burn out electric motors on cars by proving that UV dye doesn't burn out if you use the right one in the right amount. So in my vehicle, I used 2 UV dyes. I really wanted to try to do something bad to my electric motor. I used Tracer line products, and I used for their EVs. Or actually, I used it before their EVs. I actually used their Universal, and it was only 5 milliliters. Their UV brand wasn't even available on the market when I don't think so, when I got this car in 2012. And I also have AC Extends, 5 milliliters. So I have more than double the amount of required UV dye in the system. Run the vehicle all day long. So let's get on with the test. Too much talking. Let's go to the new Calgon, old school diodes. There we go. We're in, as you can see here, you look up, it's raining right now, but it's bright because it's about noontime and the sun is up and cloud are all over, so light is hitting inside the bay well at all directions. There is no shadows. So look right there. If you see the light hitting the sight glass, that's from this distance. Okay, let me get above. I'm above the hood. You can see it from above the hood. Now let's look at this rock. This rock over here has minerals in it called willemite. Not sure what it is, but that's something guys who like to hunt for gems and stuff like that, they use 365s. It's still on. But do you see anything on the rock? The rock looks exactly the same. Nothing's changing. Okay, and we're out here in the bright light. So let's put that away. Let's get the convoy. I like saying convoy. Convoy, little handheld guy. Let's turn him on. A single diode, very bright. Oh, look at a rock. Let's look at how bright that looks now. That's from down here. Let me get it above from up here. Look at how bright that is. That's from above the hood in bright fog. Another thing you could see too is you'll notice, look at my gauges, my couplings. You can actually see a little bit of glow on my couplings of ester oil, POE oil with dye that has creeped out on them. And if you remember correctly, I think I didn't see that on here. Yeah, look at this light, nothing. If you look at my gauges, at my couplings, there's no glow, completely worthless. So let's move on. 365. We're gonna keep these two out of the test until last, because these are the guys that were competing against each other. So let's go to the 395 and let's see what that does. Boom. There you go. And look at my couplings. My couplings are glowing. You can see the dye glowing in them. Now let's get it up here above height up here from this far away. You can see how, and this is the 395, 400, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the UV beast. Now let's go with the 385, 95, whatever this one was. Same thing. Nice and bright. And we can see glowing on my couplings. And look at the Willerite or whatever it's called. Let me get way back here. A little glow. And if we get right up to it, you can see it glow more. You can see how bright that glows. I forgot I didn't do that on this one. The 3. Nothing. The UV wavelength. So this one does nothing to making it glow, just barely. So this is totally worthless on that. Now, oh, the convoy. You can see that. See how the light glows? Okay. Now we're going to go to the comparison. And before we get to this, here, let me show you this. There's the part number. And there's another part number. Let you guys know. So let's go to the UV beast. We're right here. Take a look at the little window. There you go. Glowing nice and bright. We look at our couplings. Our couplings are glowing. Our coupling is glowing. Let me get right down there so you can see some glow. They're very dusty. There's a lot of dirt on the couplings because there's POE oil that's all over them. So the dye is covered by dust. So, oh, let's go up high too. Let's get up here above here. And we're above the hood, as you can see from the sight glass. Extremely good, no problem at all. Now, did I show that? There you go. You can see the brightness. That's a mineral 365 wavelength. That is what that likes to say. So if you were hunting at night on the rocks and you were going like this, you can see that glow like that. Now, this has 3 batteries in it. 3 16850s. This only has 1 battery in it. So let's grab this guy. There we go. Turn it on. Look at the sight glass. Boom. That is definitely the brightest one. I gotta say, there's no doubt about it. It is brighter. And why did I get... It's raining on my phone right now. And if you look at the couplings, you can see how much the couplings and their dust, dirt, and the UV dye that has leaked out onto them. If we look over at the stone, there we go. That's what it looks like. Okay, now let's compare that to UV Beast. There you go. Now do you see the difference? And then get this. Definitely a difference. This wins. Solid. This is only one battery in it that has 3 batteries in it. That's the difference. So down and out, right? Let's get this way up here. Up here. Light. Definitely bright. This is definitely the winner. And this is not even the only test that I'll do, but I'll let you guys definitely know. After all these years, my UV Beast is being dethroned as the leader. But you got, what are these things? $59 to $80, $270. So that's up to you. And I will tell you, I've purchased all of these with my own money, and this was given to me. But I'll do in another, I'll do a few more videos, but in another 6 months to a year, I'll do a video on this again, and let's see how it holds up. You can already see I dropped it. You see those little nicks right there? I just coming out here to do this test, I dropped this on the ground. And that's another thing. These lights, they have to be able to be dropped several hundred times, roll off the hood, roll out of it. When I open up a door, they fall on the ground. When I open up my rear hatch with my tools and I pull tools out, falls on the ground. If this light can fall on the ground a couple hundred times by next year and it's still working and the button's still working, you know this light is definitely going to get my my outstanding thumbs up, and it will definitely dethrone all other UV lights. So made by Convoy, but I guess it was modified by this company. I got to get the rest of the, this is somebody, I guess, or a company that modifies them. Here's the QR codes. You guys could go to these QR codes and let's see if I could zero in on them. You guys can get these QR codes, go to whatever videos they have demonstrating and telling you more about this light, and that's up to you. But for strength, definitely the winner, hands down. I'll do another video when it's bright and sunny, and I'll make it so the sun is shining directly on the window for the inspection glass right there, and we'll repeat this test again. Because in the real world, your vehicle, some of you guys are working out in the parking lot while the bays are all filled and you have no time, or you don't have the space, and you have to use your lights out in the bright light. So if the light can't work out in the bright light, it's a useless light. And you might ask, well, what about all those other lights that you have that are the cheaper ones that we get from the auto parts store? They're garbage. I got them. I've done videos on them. They're so bad, I won't even do comparison up to this. They're not even worth a discussion. See you guys later. Definitely this is going to be the #1 king, it looks like, but we'll find out after a year.